Hey, how y'all doing? This is Sejihito here to bring you the news. And I think this is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter live stream. Um, this is about a video that I placed directly on the IG page. So, for those out there who follow me, you might have seen this a little bit through the week. And again, I will have a solo version directly of this as well, which should potentially be uploaded today. So, we'll see. Um, but the title of the live stream has to do with something that I've talked about previously before. And I've talked about this continuously, time and time again, further validating and giving more proof on what it is that I state when I say that people either don't care, right, or adults don't care, right? And we're going to take a look at this clip. Of course, I had to make sure to edit, this clip, but here we go.
You gave him something. So what? Why did you come? Why did you come raw? Why did you come without a condom?
And
if you know you got a little kid, why did you come without a condom, yo?
What if you would have got pregnant?
You see this?
What if
you
you would have
grown
pregnant?
niggas who could have gave you anything. You don't know what you carry. None of us do. That's why you stay with one person. You a baby, Ayana.
Know when you got herpes.
I don't have herpes.
What you got? HPV?
I don't have nothing.
Yes, you do,
I
Ayana.
don't have nothing.
General
Yes, you
what's
do.
the form of HPV?
No, you do.
I promise I don't have
Ayana,
anything.
I wasn't with you.
I know, but they made a mistake. I really don't
They
have
made a
nothing.
mistake, Ayana.
I don't have nothing.
They made a mistake.
I don't have
They made a mistake, but I was with you.
I'm the one who was convincing them that I might have had something.
You was convincing the doctors, but didn't the doctor tell you that day that you had it? Wasn't I with you that day? They told you come get your clothes at 11 by 11. I told them no, because if I grew up, or when my friends grew up, it's going to be different, because we all had a bond with you before.
Oh,
So
they
I'm
fucked
gonna
up with me
fucking
when you
kill
tried
you.
to convince niggas
They
I
was
was a
ready
dirty
to do
bitch.
anything to you. Now you got him off the saying, I don't want to get her in trouble. I don't want to do this. But then you sent them a text message saying you need to borrow his Yana. You told the baby you need to borrow his. Now you should chill out. You can't keep her up in the video. Like the video is
Well,
for proof. Because at this point, you
Wait a minute.
you think I'm wrong for doing this?
why you ain't stop it? Even if he came on to you, why you ain't stop?
Why you ain't say, hold up, this ain't right? It's nothing in my 21-year-old head that I'm a 13. I'm not even going.
I can't even sit here, Malia, thinking this shit. Even if he, so you think you think he went that far? Experience, and that's nasty.
So you don't know what you was thinking, Ayana, but you him.
When you
Experience, and that's nasty.
So you don't know what you was thinking, Ayana, but you him.
When you-
But why you?
when-
But you,
when you-
excuse me, you
when
knew
you
that was
really-
my little cousin, right? Tell the truth. No, you knew that was my little cousin. No, cause I'm mad at y'all. Don't get this. This supposed to be my friend, and you are my family member who's
Bitch,
a
I've been
baby.
to use a snake.
I looked out for you. You looked out for me, and this how you repay me? You my little cousin. You knew that was my little cousin, Ayana. You knew this. You know that's my family. She let you stay there. She asked me, should I let her stay there? I said, I don't know, but if you want to help her, help her. We invited you into our old family for real. My sister done helped you. My cousin, did you for my little cousin?
That's mine.
Did
Here you
you
go.
for my little cousin? Now you might think this is grimy. You little boy, Ayana. I want to punch you so bad. You a little boy. You my baby cousin here. Why did you?
Right. So we were all able to hear that, right? You clear cut have a 22-year-old who decided, with whatever wisdom that she has, that she wanted to be with somebody who was a minor, 13. And not only did she do that once, but then she tried to further up and have another conversation stating that that she needed something else specifically from that 13-year-old again. And not only did she sit up there and do that, but she also gave him herpes. And I can't even tell you what he is going to have to deal with, the ordeals, the types of medication, how it is that he's specifically going to have to move through life. Normally, most kids, they would be able to go through life. Oh, I got a girlfriend, I got this, I got that. Can't even do that now, because now he has to move way differently. Usually when kids are younger, it would go to a point of people just sharing, drinking off of each other, eating food. You can't even do that. All of the normal things that kids would normally do is out of the window. Him, just being able to, like, hey, give your mom, like a kiss, or grandma a kiss or something, like, can't even do that. He now has to move vastly different because of the actions of a grown woman. And again, I've talked about these things before, and the problem comes in that a lot of women don't want to highlight, don't want to talk about, don't want to bring this topic up. And the main thing that I always see on social media and online is that, oh, well, men do this and men do that. People need to focus on that. People need to bring awareness to that, and people need to march, and people need to protest. Cool, fine, no problem. That is a wrong that needs to get talked about. That is a wrong that needs to get highlighted. True. But why is that same energy is not delivered when it's situations like this? Why? Why is that? Somebody has to let me know. Why are these actions different from the actions of what a man would do? Because in my eyes, I see them as the exact same thing. The exact same thing. And the main thing that I've told people before is the fact that when it deals with minors, the main people that have the utmost unrestricted access is women. Nobody's going to look at a woman and think that, oh, she's of a devious nature. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. Nobody's going to sit up there and think that. Whenever you look at all of these women that are working with children, nobody's thinking that they're villains. Nobody's thinking that they're criminals. Nobody's thinking that they're going to potentially do something negative. Nobody's saying that. Whenever you see a lot of these female teachers, nobody's thinking that, oh, yeah, they're up to no good. They're plotting on these kids. No. But whenever you happen to see a man with a child, it could be a baby, it could be a child in single digits, it could even be a teenager, automatically in the back of people's minds, people are always wondering, I wonder if that child is okay. What type of man is that? What type of father is that? Is he actually a protector, or is he potentially going after? Is he trying to teach them something? Is he trying to coerce them? Right? It's always these negative thoughts whenever it's a man in the picture, but it's never that same mentality when it's a woman. And because people have that thought process, this is how you have a 21-year-old that is able to give a minor herpes. And again, as I've stated before, and just like in the other stories where I've brought to you guys, where I've explained that you have a lot of female teachers that are going directly after students. But yet when you look on social media, that's not what people want to talk about. Right? Whenever people want to protest certain things, whenever people want to bring awareness to certain things, if it has to do with a man, of course, bring awareness to it, right? If it has to do with women, magically it's some type of grace that's given. Magically, none of this stuff is ridiculed. None of this stuff is, talked down upon. You don't hear gangs of women talking about, oh yeah, we're about to go see some. Nah. Whenever it's a young man in these circumstances that has to deal with an older woman, you never hear groupings of grown women talking about, we're about to go see somebody. We're about to go have a conversation. But let's flip the roles. If this was a man who did this, to a minor who was a girl, guess what? Everybody on the planet would be like, oh, we about to go see him. Let me know, drop the location, drop the addy, right? People would be saying a whole bunch of things. They would even go to the furthest extent of even trying to dox somebody, trying to figure out who that individual is. They would go to the furthest links, and they would make sure to put all of that information directly online for everybody to see so that they'll know exactly who that individual is. But when it deals with women committing those exact same horrendous acts, where's the energy at? Like I said, that's all I ask. I wish the energy that people would have when men commit to these acts, I wish that people would have that exact same energy when it deals with this happening to young men. This is why I sit up there and say that adults don't really care about the kids, the minors, because it's proven every single day. I can literally throw a dart blindfolded in complete darkness, and I can happen upon 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 stories of stuff like this happening, if not worse. And do you really think that everybody on social media that's an adult cares? Nope. Do you think that everybody on social media that's a parent or a guardian cares? Nope. Do you think everybody on social media that is literally monitoring somebody else's children cares? Nope. Do you really think that the government cares? Nope. It's amazing how that works. But pushing it to a further extent, people wonder why you have a lot of young men that have the view that they have, where they devalue, don't value, don't respect women. This is why. This is why. This is clear-cut why that exists. This is clear-cut why that even happens. Matter of fact, let me just take it to a further extent, right? This is the image of another story that I actually have that's going to get put up pretty soon. And this has to do with a woman that decided that she wanted to take part in actions as well, right? Because we're dealing with, young men, right? So you got the 21-year-old that gave a 13-year-old herpes, right? And then you have this instance here where you have this woman that decided that she wanted to dance directly on a minor, right? So let me just see if I can get that image directly up here for you guys really quick, right? So this is what that looks like, right? This should never be a thing. This should never at all ever be a thing. And like I said before, I try to use my platform to speak directly for the children directly out here, because obviously no one cares. Whenever these stories happen to come up, people like to, exit out. People don't want to listen. People don't want to pay attention. And the main thing that I try to tell a lot of adults out here is that very easily this could be your child. Very easily this could, be a story that you will have to sit up there and deal with. But like I said before, a lot of people would actually rather be ignorant of the fact or of the situations. A lot of people would rather ignore these situations and make it seem like it can't happen, or that it's not a problem, or that it's a small little variable, when this is something that is commonplace, right? So you have in the image here that is properly blurred out, you have a woman that is in a bathing suit that is at a party, and one individual that is there is a minor, a very small minor, and the other woman that is there is an OnlyFans creator. Because I had to sit up there and look up and try to find out who this person was. And I found out that she likes to sit up there and sell images of herself directly online. And at this party, she decided that she wanted to twerk and dance. And you had people egging her on, both male and female, and also egging on the minor that was there too. And this is why I sit up there and tell a lot of people that a lot of adults do not deserve to be able to actually have kids at all. And and it's very odd that the people that deserve to have kids are not able to. They're completely sterile. And I'm like, wow, how does that happen? In what grand scheme of the universe was it a grandiose plan to allow people that should not have kids the full-fledged ability to just multiply all over the place? But then you have the people that legitimately are decent individuals, decent parents, and they can't do anything. They can't decide to sit up there and have kids. It's crazy. And as I stated before, and I stated to a lot of people, I'm a huge equal opportunist. I'm about equality. So in the very first image that I was able to sit up there and show you, right? Let me just roll that back real quick. So in the very first image, which was the video, you have this, which is the 21-year-old that gave a 13-year-old herpes, right? And that is a woman right there that decided that she wanted to mess around with the 13-year-old, knowing the fact that she has fields of grown men that she could clear cut deal with and mess with. But she decided to take her herpes ridden body and lay that upon a 13-year-old, destroying his whole life. Now he has to take the same exact medications that she has to sit up there and take. And then the next little part that you have here, you got this. You got both men and women. Men and women. Like, hey, yeah, kid, go ahead, put your head directly on it. That's right, twerk on them. Da, all this other. This is where we are. The corruption. And people wonder why it is that you have a lot of these kids growing up faster than what they should be, because kids are not allowed to be kids. And then not only that, but I have comments of people basically celebrating and saying like, oh, they're just letting that kid live life. If that was my son and I saw him doing it, I'd be proud, and all this other type of stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy that this is the thing. And the craziest part about it is I find myself to be one of the only ones, if not the few, that are out here actually talking about this. And like I told people before, and I completely understand, this type of content does not bring money. It does not really bring a lot of views. And I completely understand that when we're dealing with social media, everything is about the money. Everything is about the views. But like I said before, when it comes to a point in time that you basically have a platform, you should be talking about everything that matters. And at the end of the day, in order for us to even survive and to keep going as adults the way that we are going, we need children. Children are the reason why all of these things are able to still go on, still take place, still happen, that we're able to still see the sunlight, still live our lives. We can still look forward to tomorrow. We got something to look forward to. It's the reason that we still got a lot of teachers, why we got college, right? While we still got new blood coming directly into music, into movies, and all of these things, right? It's kids. Because if it came to a moment in time where kids were no longer in existence, that is it. That is it. It is over. You might as well just pack it up and just go to the bar, because it's done. There is no more looking forward to tomorrow. You're not going to have nobody to teach. You're not going to have nobody to watch, grow up and to share these little moments. It's all over. So again, it's amazing to me to go on social media and to see fields of people with platforms stating that they care about this issue and this issue and that issue and that issue. But yet we got kids missing every single day. Like I said, I sat up there and showcased the people. Little Miss Flint, that's a little girl, teenager, that has spent the greater duration of her life talking about a social issue that has realistically nothing to do with her. She should be worried about, like prom, dating, best friends, and going out vacation. That's what she should realistically be worried about. I shouldn't sit up there and see a 16-year-old child worried about grown issues that grown adults sat up there and made happen. Nor should I sit up there and be able to get online and see grown adults going directly after minors. But like I said before, nobody wants to talk about this, though. That's the ugliness of society. Nobody wants to highlight this. Nobody wants to talk about this. Nobody wants to really rage out about it. We can all rage out about racism and what it is that the white man did and all. We could rage out about all of that shit, but nobody wants to rage out about the kids, though. Everybody want to crash out over some dumb shit, right? Everybody want to crash out. Oh, somebody that sat up there and stole my car. Somebody that sat up there and did this. Oh, somebody that did me wrong, right? Want to crash out over dumb stuff, but nobody want to crash out over no kids, though. The most important things that we have directly out here, nobody actually gives a damn at all. That's what I've noticed, and that's what I've seen over the 4 to 5 or whatever years that I've been doing this. Nobody cares. Because like I said before, even at the height of my channel, some of the lowest views that I've ever gotten was bringing awareness to these situations. And I still try to figure out, was it a me thing? Was I the reason I couldn't bring enough awareness to this, even at the height of what any of my channels used to be? Or was it everybody else? Because I sit up there and I think back every single day for years, like, what could I have done to bring more awareness? What could I have done to highlight this issue a lot more, to get this to the point of some of the other videos that have had 50 to 100K, 500K to millions of views? What could I really have done to get it to that point? I can't even give you anything. Because I can't really say that it's a me problem if I'm literally trying to, make this and bring this up as the serious issue it should be roughly every single day. Because every single day I go by, I look on Twitter, I see everybody talking about the exact same shit, the same exact dry content that happens all the time. We talk about politics all the time, every 4 years or whatever it is. Voting time, yeah. And everybody starts getting in a corner, Democrat here, Republican here, independent here. It's the exact same shit, rinse, wash, and repeat. But yet nobody gets tired of it. They act like it's something brand new every single day. And everybody's literally touting, who it is that they want to sit up there and vote for, as if it actually fucking matters. But it doesn't. But something that actually does matter is the kids, because guess what? Everybody has kids directly in their families. So when you actually have somebody that's bringing awareness, trying to show you like, hey, you got some people out here, if you're a woman, that are watching you as you are, doing your every single day. Doesn't matter if you got an infant, a small teenager, or a child, somebody's out here watching you and they're plotting. And chances are very great, yes, it would be a guy doing it. But the other thing that a lot of women don't take into an account is that you have a lot of women that are also setting you up as well. Because women are the main things that can bring down the defenses of a lot of people. Women have toppled countries, kings, kingdoms, because everybody's going to let down their guard. No woman is going to actually have their guard up around another woman. Let's just be real. She comes through with like a face, smelling good, dressing nice, whatever it is. Everybody's guard is going to be down. Nobody's going to be thinking like, oh, that's a trained assassin. That's a trained killer. This woman is up to no good. She's dressed way too nice. No. People are going to sit up there and bend a knee and bend an ear. And there you go. Easy access. Doesn't even matter. But like I said before, as a content creator, I don't know what to sit up there and tell y'all. I really don't. It's the most frustrating thing that I've literally dealt with out of all of the stories, out of all of the information that I've seen. I don't exactly know what to do. I don't know. I don't know. So let me just look real quick. So a legend of a legend has shown up K. Brown, has stated it's due to society's misogyny. It's the gender role BS that y'all keep pushing. If we started looking at men and women as flawed people instead of the old-fashioned misogyny, we wouldn't have this. No, we still would, because there's a thing called double standards, right? Let me just highlight this, right? There's a thing called double standards, okay? I'm not sure if you actually understood it. I clear-cut actually explained that in the video that I stated. Whenever I happen to talk about the fact, right? Let me put it to you like this, right? When R. Kelly was on the scene, right? A lot of people had a lot of stuff to basically say about, R. Kelly, right? And no problem. A lot of stuff to say. But then when you have other women, when you have other individuals out there and they just so happen to be women and they're doing the exact same things, if not worse, do you really hear a whole bunch of people talking about, oh yeah, this person needs to go here. This person needs to go there. We need to lock this person up, put him in prison. No. And I can tell you that from experience because I've been covering this more than a lot of people have actually done research on it. Like I said, it's crazy. It's 100% crazy. For let me just take it to another extent, right? You got a guy, comedian, that I'm pretty sure some people may know of, by the name of D-Ray. And he sat up there and stated himself that he had an instance with two women, right? And within that instance, both of those women sat up there and took his virginity. Right? The craziest thing, and I'm still trying to figure out why to this day that if you have a man coming out and stating what happened and what took place with him, why is it that you don't hear a lot of women talking about this? And women always want to, ask men questions like, yo, why don't you guys ever open up? Why don't you guys ever tell us what's really going on? What's really happening? This is why. Because nobody's going to listen. Nobody cares. And then, of course, you're going to have a woman in the background that's going to sit up there and say, well, it's deserved. And, if men treated women, correctly, maybe we would sit up there and care. And it'll always be some type of excuse. And the thing I've noticed on social media, online, is this, right? The double standard. When it deals with men going through this situation, women will come out real quick and say how much they don't care because of X, Y, and Z, and their pain, a man's pain does not compare into what it is that a woman and young girls have ever had to sit up there and go through, right? But then when women are online talking about the situation, you don't see guys trying to come directly under the conversations talking about me too, me too, me too. Look at us, look at us, look at. We're not doing that. We allow women to sit up there and have their room, to sit up there and talk to have these conversations. We're not trying to do this combative type of thing. We're not trying to be the champion and hold on to this type of pain. Like I said, there are things out here that people don't want to acknowledge. And the thing that I've understood and known for a very long time is that a lot of women out here want to hold the corner on pain, which is the craziest thing. Really want the gold medal directly on that. And I'm like, why would you want something like that? Why would you want to hold on to that as if that's the only thing that you are, as if that's the only thing that you got? Why is it that you would get offended if a guy wants to talk about what it is that he has suffered through, had to go through, and you want to try to make it seem like, oh, your situation isn't as important because you're not a woman, so you don't know really what it is to actually go through this. Yeah, we went through the same thing, but no, it's not the same thing. We go through it a lot worse. It's the weirdest thing that I've ever seen online to see women do this. And I don't understand it. I literally do not understand it at all. If anybody can give me some answers on that, that'd be great. If anybody would like to give me some answers directly on that, that would be great. Because I don't know. I do not know at all. Like I said, it's crazy. Let me see. King's Kids said they're trying to teach these kids at an early age their twisted lifestyle is normal. Yeah, they are. But like I said, I just wish that more people would actually talk about it. I wish more people would actually highlight it. Right? Again, when you want to bring awareness directly to something, you don't really get the response that should, normally take place. Like, how could we bring more, awareness to it? How is it that we could, prevent it? How it is that, we could potentially, fix this issue? It comes down to, people wanting to play the blame game. Right? And like I said, I respect everybody's opinion. No problem. But when it comes down to something as serious as this, and it's like, well, the reason why this is a thing is because it's the man's fault. It's like, wow, that's the best that's where we are. That's it. It's the man's fault at the end of the day. When I've literally just showcased the fact that you got both men and women doing this. But the problem is that if a man does it, right, all of the light, right, everything is shined directly down on that, right? And it's made to be important, which it should. No problem with that. I 100% agree. It should be highlighted. But as a person that believes in equality, which a lot of women basically want, the same exact thing that happens in the corner when it deals with men doing these things, it should happen when women are doing these exact same things as well. But I don't see that exact same energy. So this is when I sit up there and state that there is a double standard. And no matter how much I want to point out the double standard, I want to call it out, and I want it to cease to exist, it's not going to happen. There are just certain double standards that are just double standards, irregardless of me being a man and all these other types of it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And just like how that doesn't matter, for a lot of these adults out here, kids don't matter. And this is where we are, folks. This is where we are. Right? Like I said before, it's very interesting when you can have somebody such as this. And just make sure to get that directly up there so y'all can see the title. D-Ray said, I lost my virginity at 11 to two ugly, horrible 30-year-old women. Now, funny enough, whenever a man happens to state this, do you know the main things that a lot of people like to say? Oh, he must play for the other team. That's the one main thing out of all of the black community. Let me just make this very clear. The main way to try to come down on a black man or a young black boy, that's the first go-to that people like to use. They like to always try to say, oh, he must be playing for the other team. He must be moving different. He must got some sugar directly in his tank. He must be a part of the rainbow faction, right? That's what people like to sit up there and say. Whenever it is that you have a man or young men speak out about what it is that they've specifically gone through, because they decide not to champion this type of behavior, it got to be something wrong with them. That's crazy to me. And people wonder why it is that you have a lot of men drinking, why you have a lot of men that want to drug themselves, why you have a lot of men that just want to escape from this existence totally. This is part of the reason. This is part of the reason. Because men don't actually have a venue to open up and to speak. They can't. Nobody cares. So if men don't have a venue to actually come out and speak, what does that mean for the young boys directly out here? They don't got nothing. So why do you think it is that they gotta put on a brave face? You know, you got some of these boys out here that cry about this because that's not something that they specifically were ready for or something that they really wanted to sit up there and do. And the amount of pressure that they get from the older woman is immense. And people don't even understand it. Like I said before, I remember back when I was in, it was a religious private school. And we had a female teacher. It was two teachers, right? My one teacher, Mr. Reese, Caucasian, right? Cool dude. No problems with Mr. Reese, right? No problems. And then we had a black teacher who was a woman. And it was one day, I think I might have told this story probably maybe about like 4 times out of the years that I've been on here. It's probably told it about 4 times on this channel. And I'm not sure how we got to the point of something going along the lines of sex ed, but we got to that point, and she was wearing a dress that day. It was a class full of probably about 20, 25. So somewhere up in there, right? And she was sitting on the desk, and then she proceeded to open her legs. Now, me being raised how I was raised, right? You normally, like anytime like a woman, you know, potentially does whatnot, hey, you know, you sit up there and, you know, you look the other way out of respect. You look the other way, cover your eyes, different, you know, stuff like that, right? And, you know, I sat up there and thought throughout the years, I'm like, yo, feeding into, you know, all the social things. I'm like, yo, was it something wrong with me? Like, I'm like, yo, I'm a boy. Yo, I should have been sitting up there like all eyes in. I should have been deep. I should have been like trying to see all this. And I'm like, thinking back, I'm like, nah, I shouldn't have been. I'm like, realistically, I'm like, yo, that woman is above my pay grade. That woman is what, like, during that time, probably like mid-20s, 30s. I was what? Was that about that was probably what, like the 7th, 6th, or 7th grade or something like that. I'm like, I shouldn't have been nowhere in there. Like, the girls in my class were cute. Like, of course. But I'm not about to be sitting up there trying to roll up and look at a grown woman. I'm like, what am I realistically about to sit up there and do with that? Nothing. What are we really going to have in common? Nothing. Where is this realistically going to go over time? Nowhere. Because she's going to far out age me than I will her. We're not going to meet anywhere on an even playing field. And I had to sit up there and keep thinking about that for a minute. I'm like, yo, I'm really sitting up there feeding into everything else that society is putting directly out there. I'm like, damn, that brainwashing is strong. That shit is real strong. But the main point that I wanted to bring up to a lot of people is that these are the things that young boys and young men go through and happen to see without them asking. These are things that are just thrown right now. I want y'all to remember, being a full-fledged grown man, you're not really going to have, unless you're of a certain caliber, right? Unless you got certain types of looks, money, status, all the other type of stuff, women are not going to be automatically just like throwing themselves directly at you, right? So the main thing how women have stated, like, yo, if you're an older guy going after, younger women, if you're like in your 20s and you're going after somebody that's like 18, 19, 20, then that's all a power play and control, right? That's what a lot of women will sit up there and say. But if you swap it around and you basically state that, yo, if a woman is in her 20s or 30s or whatever, and she's looking at somebody who was a teenager, that's a power play, that's control. People will be like, no, it's not really, it's different. And I'm like, how is that different? How are we giving excuses? Right? We're not going to excuse what it is that a dude is doing. So how are we going to give excuses on what it is that a woman is doing if it's the exact same thing? What are we doing here? Again, things like this should never happen. Again, I shouldn't even be able to state a story like that. I shouldn't. But yet I can, because these are the things that happen. Because realistically, men don't have platforms to speak or to talk or to narrate or tell these things. And, I'm at the point in time where I could just actually give a care less on what people actually think, specifically about me when I explain a lot of these stories. I done heard it all. I done heard it all before. Right. But again, that's because people have a certain type of thought process and mentality, because a lot of people have been brainwashed to think a certain type of way. A lot of people are not out here thinking on their own. A lot of people lack the skill, the knowledge base to actually critically think or to think on their own or by themselves. A lot of people like to think as a group, right? If you got to solve a problem that's worldly, or you got to build a house, or, dig a trench in the ground, I get it. Group think, no problem. But when it comes to situations such as this, you don't need a whole group to sit up there and figure out what the hell common sense is. But like I said, you're going to have few, far and in between men and young men that will honestly come out and tell these stories. Because realistically, as I've seen online, you'll have people that will laugh directly at them. You have people that will want to question them. And I'm not talking about just women. It'll be men too. It'll be both that will sit up there and throw these types of questions or insinuations directly at somebody, trying to question their sexuality and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, it's crazy out here to literally see this live in 4K on social media from other grown, quote unquote, adults. It's crazy. But the funniest thing is, people would never sit up there and say that to a young girl who went through the same thing. They would never try to question her sexuality. They would never try to throw, certain things directly out there, try to brand her in a certain type of way. They would just allow her to speak and allow her to be in that moment. Crazy, ain't it? But yet again, that goes right back to the double standards. People will be empathetic and sympathetic when it deals with women and young women, but they won't have the same energy for men and young men. It's crazy. So like I said, I feel sorry for, anybody out here that has, sons. I'm sorry if this is something that they have to deal with or have had to, deal with and go through. I'm very much sorry, because this is something that should have never happened to you at all. There is a time and a place for everything. And as a child, that is not the time or the place. We're living in a world where we are trying to adultify kids at a very early age. We're progressing their growth and their knowledge, and it's not even just in this way, in a sense, but it's also in the sense by the information that kids are able to get just at their fingertips. Just remember, we're all on social media. I can't even tell y'all how many times that I've ran through videos or photos that realistically I wasn't looking forward to see, nor was I even trying to search up, because I'm looking for news, I'm looking for stories. But you got people that want to put themselves directly online so badly for fame, for glory, for platinum records and all this other type of stuff, that they're willing to show any and everything directly out there. Everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. but nobody actually want to work hard for it. The easiest way to sit up there and do it is to sell their body and to put it directly out there. And when you go through on Twitter, when you go through on IG, and in certain instances of which I've showed before on this platform, when you go through on TikTok, you will see just that. Even on Twitch, you'll see just that. Like I said, I weep for a lot of the kids directly out here because they're not able to be kids. You got a lot of adults out here pushing the kids to become adults at a very early age, which is crazy to me. And then you got the music doing it as well. You got other forms of media doing it as well. It's crazy. And people, wonder why it is that the younger generation is the way that they are, because they have no protection from nothing. They don't have protection for themselves. They don't got protection from adults. They don't got protection from the media directly out here. They don't got protection from the world. So these kids literally got to teach and defend themselves all at the same time while still trying to perform and be kids, while trying to masquerade as acting and being an adult or mature. It's crazy. The amount of pressure and responsibility that these kids have is insane. It is insane. I'm very lucky and I'm very happy that I didn't have to sit up there and grow up in this time frame. I can only imagine the pressures that they have to sit up there and face by way of social media, especially to be able to perform and act a certain type of way so that you don't get clowned for like the next 40 years because everything is now being filmed and recorded and posted because everybody want to share and have likes. It's crazy. It's completely crazy. DC said, social media is a prime example of how technology can be used for good or evil. If used properly, it's a powerful tool that can empower people. What is it used for? Also said, twerking, arguing, degenerate, idiotic foolishness. Ren Wilson said, there is no age of consent for young black boys. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But again, much love, respect, and appreciation to everybody that is actually here. That is a part of the, conversation. Again, if anybody would like to, state anything about the topic, you are more than free to write some directly in the comment section, if you would like. Like I said, I'm just, technically, I guess this is my form of trying to think out loud, just trying to figure some things out. And I don't know. Like I said, it's crazy. You want things to, be better, and you don't want things to get worse. You really don't. You really, really don't. But again, shout out to everybody that's here, at this moment in time that, is taking the time to listen, during this morning. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here, during this live stream. But yeah, since seems that nobody really has anything to list to the conversation, I will end it there. Again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody decided to leave a comment. Shout out to Timothy, DC Precise, Gail, K Brown, Lone Wolf, DSA1, The King's Kid, and Ren Wilson. So that is it for this live stream. I will have some videos posted directly on the IG. Anything that I, of course, can't showcase and post here, I will do my best to post in on other platforms so that you can see it and leave a comment directly there. But anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation, and have a good morning.